What's going on, everyone? It's Token back with a brand new video, and as you all can see, we are here for another Showdown live. And you might be wondering, Token, what the heck is going on? We just had a Showdown live on Monday, and then we had no battle spot videos go up with that Showdown live team. Unfortunately, guys, I am a human of error. I make mistakes just like anyone else, and that Bulu team that I made, it wasn't that good. And the reason I didn't know that was during my laddering and everything, I didn't really face team archetypes that were like that I didn't really have an answer for at all. But as soon as I brought the team onto battle spot, I ran into two double duck teams and as well as one other team. Can't remember what archetype that was. And the team had no answer for double duck. Literally absolutely zero answer for double duck. I pretty much had to use Scarf Bula 100%. I pretty much had to get like every single prediction right on my that my opponent went for and everything. So I try to even patch up the team. I try to add a Focus Sash Kartana over the Garchomp that we had, but then that makes Muck a bit bigger issue than it already was if we don't have Garchomp, and it brings about more issues. So I decided, let's just scrap the team, let's start over from the beginning. And I'll later on I'll go back to Bulu. I really do want to showcase Scarf Bulu, as I don't think Bulu or Nihilego were the issues. It was just the rest of the team that I try to build around those two. So hopefully I can bring those two back for you all and try to show that team archetype really isn't bad. I didn't put the necessary Pokemon around it to support the team well enough, and I just ran into just teams that I had zero answer for, and I was like, this is not going to be quality episodes for you all. So let's start over. We will build this team. Well, not build this team. We will go over this team that I have built for you guys all right on your screen right now. We will then do a few battles with it, and then I'll bring this team onto the battle spot ladder. I'll put up an episode of VGC Climbing The Ladder for the rest of this week, and then we'll also bring this team back for the rest of next week. So hopefully that actually goes well. So what I was thinking with this team was I was thinking of team archetypes that I really wanted to use, because I don't know, I feel like the meta's in a weird state right now. There's a lot of obviously Drifloon is really strong right now, and people are seeing the rise of Drifloon right now, the rise of the balloon, which is pretty cool considering I live in the pretty much the capital in the US for balloons. If you ever want to check out some balloons, definitely come to Albuquerque. International Balloon Fiesta is amazing. Anyways, though, the rise of the balloon is happening right now. I'm trying to think. Snorlax is still continuing to show that it's a really strong Pokemon in the meta. Celestial is making a little bit of a comeback. A lot of people, there was like a little short stint where people were scarfing everything, but I just ran into my first Scarf Garchomp after a very long while. So I feel like the Scarf and everything's dying down. People are really just wanting to throw that Focus Sash on Kartana. They want to throw that, they want to be able to run things like Swords Dance on Garchomp. And what was the last Pokemon everyone kept scarfing? Oh, Lele continues to be scarfed though. But you can usually know that by if you lead with one of your Tapus, or if you lead with Coco. That's the main one. If you lead with Coco, Lele's terrain will actually, it won't be the dominant terrain because of the fact that Lele will be faster than Coco. So yeah, the meta's in an interesting place in my opinion, just because there's like, I don't know, there's not really like, I don't think there's like a team that's really standing out. Even though Gavin has had huge success with his hard Trick Room, a lot of people are very skeptical of using that themselves due to hard Trick Room being really hard to operate if you're not at the level of someone like Gavin as an operator of Trick Room. So I don't know, I feel like the meta's in an interesting place right now, and people are having a lot of trouble team building. I was having that same amount of trouble, as you can tell, with the no Bulu team going up in VGC Climbing The Ladder. So I decided I would just use a team archetype that I hadn't used, that I have seen be pretty strong and hard to deal with, and that is Pheromosa and Tapu Lele. The reason these two are able to work together pretty well is that pretty much the Pokemon that Lele can't beat, Pheromosa is able to beat. I can go for that all-out pummeling punch on things like Muck that Lele really dislikes. I can go for it on Celstilla, another Pokemon that Lele really dislikes. I can go for that on Porygon 2 before it can set up a Trick Room. Just a lot of quality options that Pheromosa brings to the table for Lele, and Lele brings to the table for Pheromosa, and Lele being able to get huge chunk of damage off on things like Arcanine, Alolan Marowak, Salazzle, obviously, just a lot of these two synergize really well with each other due to the coverage options that they get, and then due to the fact of their the stab moves that they get for each other. So let's just hop right into going over this team. So thank you guys as always for tuning in into the video. It is much appreciated. And yes, I just want to apologize to you guys once again for the lack of those VGC Climbing the Ladder episodes, but we're getting right to it now. So yeah, the first Pokemon on this team is going to be Pheromosa, and it is going to be that Fighting MZ with High Jump Kick, Ice Beam, Poison Jab, and Protect. With the Fighting MZ, I felt better about running High Jump Kick than something like Focus Blast. I'm just very, very opposed to Focus Blast, and that's the reason you haven't seen me even try to test something like Como, considering that it 100% relies on Focus Blast. And yeah, I'm just far from a fan of Focus Blast. So we are going to be going with a physical Pheromosa with that naughty nature. So attack up, special defense down. Doesn't really matter. Pheromosa, look at those defenses. Oh my god. Now people say Kartana was paper thin, and it's the paper machete Pokemon. Look at those defenses. Like, you gotta be kidding me. So Pheromosa is only going to be living resisted hits pretty much. That's pretty much where it's at. It can live like extreme speeds, not a choice band extreme speed, but a normal extreme speed and stuff like that. But we do have Pheromosa to stop priority, so that's also what these two really what helps these two really work well together is Tapu Lele's terrain, stopping priority. So yeah, not bad. So yeah, we do have the High Jump Kick, Ice Beam, and Poison Jab. High Jump Kick, obviously for the Steel types, it hits so many Pokemon extremely hard, and it's a really quality move. Ice Beam for really nice coverage for like Garchomp, another Dragon types, really nice. And then Poison Jab for a lot of poison weak Pokemon in the meta. Mainly those fairies, but that will not OHKO any of the Tapu, so definitely have to get a little bit of chip damage, maybe from Dazzling Gleam or something before that does get the OHKO. Before that is able to pick up the KO on any of the Tapus. So I have considered maybe some other options than Poison Jab. Not really sure, but we're going to rock out with Poison Jab for now. And yeah, this is pretty much it for MZ. The Beast Boost obviously is really nice when Pheromosa can get that Beast Boost, makes it really threatening. We were able to invest fully in attack with the Naughty Nature, not have to invest in speed because of that ridiculous speed stat that Pheromosa does have to its disposal. That does allow us to not have to run a speed increasing nature. If something's Scarf, it's going to outspeed us either way. With this though, we do still outspeed Tapu Koko, and that's usually the fastest non-Scarf Pokemon on your opponent's team, so didn't see any need to invest anymore in speed. So let's move right on to Lele, and Lele is going to be that Choice Scarf Lele. Definitely a Pokemon that I've wanted to use for a long time, as running this Choice Scarf allows you to also be modest and still be really fast. So that is what we're going to be, full investment in special attack with that Mouse Nature, and then 252 in speed, and then just 4 dumped in defense. We are going to be Psychic, obviously, most powerful stab move in that Psychic terrain. Moonblast for secondary stab option, Dazzling Gleam for spread damage and stab, and then Hidden Power Fire. Obviously, we don't really, as you can see the rest of the team before I even get to those Pokemon. And you can see that we lack electric coverage, and that is why I did contemplate Thunderbolt for a while, as Pokemon like Gyarados can just be pretty annoying for this team at times. And Celesteela, it'd give us a better option for hitting Celesteela and everything. It wouldn't OHKO obviously, but it'd give us an option for hitting that. But I decided that Hidden Power Fire would actually have more usage than Thunderbolt would have for us, because of the fact that Gyarados is to where I thought that was necessary, and there's not. Electric coverage is really nice just because few things resist it, but it's mainly just really nice on Pokemon that actually get stabbed off of that, because then it actually hits hard enough. Wouldn't be hitting too hard with Lele, especially on Pokemon that aren't weak to it. And yeah, I don't think I didn't think the coverage was as good as Hidden Power Fire, because that's obviously for Kartana, and obviously it's not going to take out a Sash Kartana, or I don't think it might not also take out an AV Kartana, But if we can get that chip damage off on Kartana, then we can take it out with the Sim Power Fire, which sounds really nice. And if my Lele is up against the Kartana for the win, I would like to have him Power Fire over Thunderbolt. So that's what we're rocking with. And then we get to some more interesting Pokemon on this team, and that was going to be Lilligant, because we are going to be rocking out with that Torkoal Sun. So we are running Focus Sash. Lilligant's really frail. I definitely did consider the Z move and everything, but I didn't see the Z move as necessary. I thought Focus Sash just it just works better on our team. If you're not going to be using the Focus Sash on your Pheromosa, it's such a good item in VGC 17. Throw that Focus Sash on another Pokemon. We're throwing it on Lilligant. It's going to be Leaf Storm after you Sleep Powder Protect. Leaf Storm for a powerful stab option. Unfortunately, that will bring our special attack stat down too, but it's very much so worth it because of the fact that we need a very powerful move. We need one, so we're going to be rocking out with that. With the 252 investment in special attack and the Modest Nature, it actually hits pretty hard too, so that's really, really nice. Then we have After You, which is what it's going to allow our Torkoal to move a lot faster than a lot of things than it normally would be able to, considering that Lele is going to, Lilligant's going to be extremely fast with that Chlorophyll in Sun. So it's After You can really Torkoal After You means the next whatever Pokemon you use it on, it moves right after the Pokemon it's using after you. Torkoal will move right after Lilligant. That is perfect. And then last but not least, Sleep Powder, just so we can put things to sleep if my opponent doesn't really have like a Tapu Fini or something on the field. Putting stuff to sleep is pretty nice. It is only 75% accurate, so we will have to consider that and maybe try to make more optimal plays than just always trying to go for Sleep Powder even when we're in poor scenarios, as I've already tried to do that sometimes and started to realize that Sleep Powder is more of a last option than a go-to option. So something to consider. 124 in HP to get a little bit more bulky, and then 132 in speed because there's no need to be any more fasters. This Lilligant is just meant to it's meant to be under the sun, so we're heavily banking on being under the sun so that we're as fast as we possibly can be. Next, and a huge member of the team, is going to be that Torkoal. 116 investment in HP, 252 in special attack with the Quiet Nature, so fully invested in special attack, and then 140 in special defense, and obviously no IVs in speed or EVs in speed, so we can be as slow as possible. Torkoal's one of the slowest Pokemon in the VGC 2017 meta, which is really nice, so that we can be the slowest Pokemon in Trick Room, but then at the same time, After You still allows us to be fast at times too. So Torkoal's pretty strong, considering that it has both of those options going for it. We're going to rock out with the Charcoal just to boost our fire type attacks further, as we're only running the fire type attacks and Eruption, Heat Wave, and Flamethrower. The reason I'm running Eruption and Flamethrower is because Eruption is Torkoal's most powerful fire type move. But unfortunately, Eruption, it starts to do less and less power the more HP that you start to lose. So Heat Wave gives us that double targeting coverage, but without depending on HP. But obviously, it's going to be a lot less powerful, but still very powerful in the sun. And then Flamethrower for a single targeting move in case my opponent has a wide guard user, or in case I really just need to hit one Pokemon really, really hard and my HP is already lowered. So that's pretty much Torkoal, just setting up that weather for us and moving from there. I don't really have any water types, so obviously the sun's not really hurting our team in any way, honestly. I guess it boosts fire type moves versus Pheromosa, but it wouldn't live either way, so the sun works well on our team. Then we move on to Celesteela, and I feel like Celesteela is pretty strong right now in the meta, as there's very few Magna Zones going around, so that's not really hurting Celesteela. And Celesteela with Flamethrower is just so nice for taking out Kartana. And then obviously, even if I need to just do, maybe I need to do a little bit of damage to a Garchomp and I don't want the rough skin damage. With the sun too, that our Flamethrower is going to be a little bit more powerful, and can do some pretty quality damage with that. Then we just have a Heavy Slam to take out all those Tapus. and Leech Seed for like things like Garchomp that, or just like things like Snorlax that I want to Leech Seed up and try to slowly wear them down. Celesteela is amazing against Snorlax unless it's running Wild Charge. I ran into a Wild Charge Belly Drum Snorlax. That was very interesting. Not something you see every day, because then that means that they're missing out on some other coverage or moves that most Snorlaxes usually run. So that's pretty interesting. I even like Celesteela against things like Drifloon too, as this team really isn't the best against Drifloon because of the fact that Drifloon is a ghost flying type. So that means that it's completely walled by Snorlax. It means that once its Burden goes off because it's running maybe like Psychic Seeds or something, so that means its item gets used up and Burden gets triggered. That means it's times 2 as fast as it was previously. So that means it's even faster than our Scarf Lele, and it 2-hit KOs us with Shadow Ball. And then Pheromosa is O-code by Acrobatics, and it's just I can't really touch Drifloon. I can go for Ice Beam, but especially if it has those Psychic Seeds, which boosts its special defense, that's not going to be too effective. So Drifloon's probably the main Pokemon that I've been facing trouble with this team, but I feel like if Drifloon's the only thing that you're having a lot of trouble with, then you're kind of doing good, as I feel like as popular as Drifloon is, it's definitely something that we can start to play better and better around. And then we have, last but not least, Snorlax. And Snorlax is going to be the Ipapu Berry, and it's going to be Return, High Horsepower, Curse, and Recycle. And we're just going with just a standard sample set that I pulled off a Train and Chow. I'm not going to act like this is my Pacific Eevee spread, or that I really understand every single thing that this Eevee spread accomplishes, but I know that it's just obviously I think it's just mainly just trying to bank on Snorlax's bulk as much as possible, with maybe helping it live, maybe some ground DMZs from Garchomp and stuff like that, and but while still being really powerful with that 116 in attack with that Brave Nature. And just like with Torkoal, we're trying to be as slow as possible, so when my opponent thinks that they want to go for Trick Room on our Pheromosa Lele lead, we can go into Snorlax, we can go into Torkoal, and we can still dish out hefty damage on my opponent's team. Torkoal also has a really good Kartana matchup, which I didn't mention, but I would like to just say now. I feel like this team doesn't struggle with Kartana at all. It literally pretty much only struggles with Drifloon, because we have so many different options for Kartana in Torkoal, in Celesteela, in HP Fire Lele, and in FightingMZ Pheromosa. So I like the team. I like it a lot. I don't think there's any reason for me to just keep dragging on about it, though. That's pretty much the team. Slow Snorlax for Trick Room with Ipapu Berry, and Recycle Curse. This is just so good. If you guys watched the previous team we had on VGC Climbing the Ladder, you guys would know how solid Snorlax did work for us. Then just a pretty standard Celesteela with the Heavy Slam, Flamethrower, Leech Seed. It's making a comeback and it's really strong again. Then a pretty standard Torkoal with only fire coverage. Sash Lilligant, pretty standard. Choice Scarf Tapu Lele with cover options, and then FightingMZ Pheromosa, not Sash Pheromosa. So that's pretty much the team. I've been enjoying it a lot. Let's just hop into some games and see how those games go. So now we're searching for a matchup. Alright, so we have an opponent with a pretty standard team of... Oh god, sorry about that. So we have an opponent with a pretty standard team of Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini, Arcanine, Garchomp, Alolan Muck, and Porygon 2. So looking at my opponent's team, I know Muck can give us some trouble. Muck is just that type of Pokemon. Loves to give you a little bit of trouble. My opponent would have to lead with Koko for our Lilligant to not be able to put stuff to sleep. Arcanine though works pretty well from them to stopping the Torkoal Lilligant lead from just kind of running shop. So I kind of don't want to bring that, because Arcanine and Finny too, since I'm not running Solar Beam, they're both pretty strong against our Torkoal Lilligant. And my opponent has Garchomp too, which is always a pain as well, especially since we're not running HP Ice on Lilligant. So yeah, I'm actually going to lead with Pheromosa Lele. Then I think I'll go Celesteela and Snorlax in the back. Just really concerned with Muck, but yeah, I don't think we have a better option for Muck. So that's what we'll go with. We'll see exactly how this one pans out. My opponent goes with Coco and Arcanine as their lead. So I'm just actually going to switch right into Snorlax, as I don't want to take any of these attacks from Arcanine. And what is the bigger threat to our team right now? The bigger threat is Coco, so I am going to Psychic Coco and switch right into our Snorlax. Actually, no. Too late. Okay, my opponent switched into Muck on that slot, and that is why I didn't want to do that, but that is fine. That is fine. We can deal with that. So my opponent's likely going to try to knock off our berry, and that'd mean we wouldn't get its usage at all in that case. I'm still going to. Do I still want to curse up? I don't think I still want to curse up. This is an interesting scenario because I really don't want to have my Papa Berry knocked off, because that means I can't recycle it later, which means we can't get our health all the way back up on Snorlax, which is what makes Snorlax such a good Pokemon. So I need to figure out a way to make sure we still get the usage out of our Papa Berry. I could go back into so my opponent either knocks off or poison jabs here. I don't know which they're going to prioritize doing. I'm actually just going to curse, because I actually have a strong feeling that if my opponent doesn't target Lele, then I think we're in a pretty good position. And if they do target Snorlax, if they do target Lele, then we'll have the curse up with Snorlax, which will be really nice too. So I'm actually just going to go for that curse. Go for the Psychic on Arcanine. That doesn't proc its Citrus, and my opponent, oh wow, they're extremely offensive. Yeah, alright. Alright, so that didn't work out. That did not work out exactly how I planned, because I didn't realize that a Flare Blitz would actually take us out. I thought there was actually no chance of a Flare Blitz taking us out. So So here, all I can really do is kind of like protect. Yeah, we're in a tight one. Yeah, I need to knock out Arcanine, so I'll protect. We'll likely lose. Yeah, we'll likely lose. Okay, my opponent just double protected. That makes sense. That works out for them. Okay, we will. Alright, I'm in such a tight spot, honestly. So I'm going to all-out pummeling punch the Muck, and I will just return the Arcanine. Without Pheromosa, though, we likely lose this game because of the fact my opponent does have that Tapu Koko in the back, but I really can't take out one of these Pokemon. Okay, if this takes out, we actually have a chance. Okay, and that takes it out, and we need to lose Snorlax here, honestly. Rough skin damage doesn't do enough. Arcanine comes back in. Alright, we have a very slim chance. What does my opponent do here? They can just Earthquake and protect their Arcanine, which makes perfect sense. And I have no reason to try to save Snorlax. So I'm just going to protect and return the Garchomp. Actually. I know if I can get a special defense boost into Celesteela, then we can actually be in a pretty decent position here, but I don't want Coco on the field before that happens. I do not. So, yeah, I guess I'll just return Protect. I'll just go with that. Can't really think of any other play that would actually benefit us much, so we're going to go with that. Opponent does protect their Garchomp, and they just went for the Flare Blitz on Pheromosa. So if I could have targeted that Arcanine, that would have been beautiful. Wasn't really sure what would protect there. Well, my opponent's kind of revealed their strategy, so I'm just going to Ice Beam the Garchomp, and I am going to return the Arcanine. So that is what we are doing. My opponent switches in Coco on the Garchomp slot. That is fine because of the fact that we'll get such solid damage off on Tapu Koko, and then Arcanine will definitely go down, and we might just be able to win. Extreme Speed comes off. That does not take us out. We take out Garchomp, and my opponent just threw this game by going for an Extreme Speed. That is 100% going to be our game now. GG. Thank you for going for that. GG. Know your calcs that Extreme Speed, unless it was Choice Band, was not going to take us out. So that is great. That is great. So we will just Poison Jab and get this win here. So that is nice. So we'll just get one more game and then we'll call it quits. Just trying to show off the team just a little bit before we hop all up into that Battle Spot ladder. And next we have a pretty interesting team. I have a Pokemon that I've wanted to use for a while, but I'm just a little scared. Not used to Pokemon like Braviary being viable in VGC. That's really cool to see a Braviary on my opponent's end. So my opponent's going to have a team of Braviary, Alolan Muck, Crocodile, the Sun Duo, and Porygon 2. So not bad at all. Braviary is usually Choice Scarf, so that's something to consider. I'm not sure we can actually take that out with a Psychic, so I guess we'll figure out. I don't really want to run calcs right now, so I'm just trying to show off the team. We're not really going too hard, so I guess we'll just figure that out. My opponent can go with their duo of Snorlax and Lilligant, and we really don't have the best answer, to be completely honest, for when my opponent decides to go for that duo. But either way, I think I'm going to go with our duel of those two together, and then I'll go with Pheromosa and Snorlax. And looks like he's trying to talk to me, but he is not speaking in a language that I comprehend, unfortunately, so I will not be talking back to our opponents. So my opponent's play 100% here is to protect that Muck and set up Trick Room. But at the same time, though, setting up Trick Room is going to put us in a prime position. So do I just allow that? Do I just not Sleep Powder? No, I think I'll still Sleep Powder Porygon 2 and go for that Eruption. We actually hit it. We'll see what my opponent went for. If they went for a Poison Jab, that'd be ideal. Perfect. They went for the Poison Jab. As long as we don't get poisoned, we do not. I'll get that Eruption off. They'll do huge damage to my opponent's team. For some reason, they're not a berry, so that's interesting on their So I'm going to protect Eruption. Yeah, my opponent made the smart play in knocking off our Torkoal. Still is going to get us to take out that Muck, but my opponent was smart and made the correct play there. I am going to Sleep Powder Torkoal, and I will actually just Flamethrower the Porygon 2. We hit another Sleep Powder on my opponent's team. Porygon 2 is stuck asleep, as well as Torkoal. And now we can just Leaf Storm and Flamethrower into Torkoal. So it looks like I've lost 2 speed ties now to my opponent's Torkoal, or it's actually just faster than that. It's not really sure which. Guess we'll figure out. This is the strength of Lilligant's Sleep Powder when it actually does work. He's continuing to speak in like Spanish, and he's calling me a puta. I know that that's actually I know that that's not nice terminology. That's something that I know. If my opponent decides to EQ, they're gonna knock out their own Torkoal, so they want to do something like that, yeah, I'm just going to Leaf Storm and protect. Okay, my opponent protects. Not bad. And then my opponent goes for that gets that eruption off, so that's not bad at all. I'll go into Snorlax and we will just now my opponent can just protect EQ, but will they go for that? Will they just protect EQ? I didn't just want to switch in Pheromosa and just knock out the Crocodile. I guess I could have did that and that would have ensured me the win, but at the same time though, my opponent could have maybe got a double protect off and then we just lose Pheromosa. I kind of want to use Pheromosa as a clean all-out pummeling punch win at the end of this game, so what exactly do I want to do here? Not really sure. I guess I'll just high horsepower and flamethrower into Torkoal. Alright, we get Rock Slid. That's fine. Oh, and we get Will-O-Wisp Torkoal. It's pretty cool. Interesting that my opponent's Torkoal was faster than my Snorlax. Yeah, I'm just going to go for that again. I'll just protect my Torkoal this time, I guess. Rock Slide goes off on the Snorlax, and opponent goes for Heat Wave. We'll eat our berry, and can we not get flinched, and can we hit a high horsepower? We do both of those things, so not bad there. Then I'll just go for a return and flamethrower, and opponent goes for their Z move into our Snorlax. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. That was actually really scary. I didn't expect the Z move. That was a really good play on my opponent's part. Unfortunately for them, did the Heat Wave miss something? I don't know. The fact that we just lived won us the game. I definitely should have just went into Pheromosa and all-out pummeling punched, but I did not do that. Opponent does go for protect. I should have predicted that. That is fine. That is fine. They are still weak to Ice Beam. No reason to go for anything else. We'll just go for that Ice Beam, and now we'll knock out Crocodile. So that is game. Sorry for my opponent with those sleep powders. They seem to be really mad about that. That's what you get with Showdown sometimes, though. People being really salty. Especially just because you can just type anything really quickly to people. And maybe Nintendo's been scoping out Showdown, and that's why they haven't really brought us any medium to speak with each other, especially even with the Switch. There's no real medium for people to just speak with each other, or users to just speak with each other. And I guess it's because Twitter's Nintendo has seen what goes down on Showdown, and they're like, we don't want that with our devices. But thank you guys anyway so much for tuning in into this Showdown Live. Once again, so sorry that our last team didn't work out, so we had to have this Showdown Live go up on a Friday. But I hope you guys don't mind. I will be bringing this team for Saturday and Sunday, and then we'll bring it for the entirety of next week, the days that I actually do upload VGC Climbing The Ladder. As I'm just my goal is for a week. If we do more, that's awesome. That's actually really awesome. But my goal is for a week. I don't really want to oversaturate you guys. We'll see what happens. The goal's 4 though, so we'll definitely have 4 for next week. Thank you so much once again for tuning in, though. It really does mean the world to me. You guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you in our first episode of VGC Climbing The Ladder using a team. Peace out.